Yo, what's good, everybody? It's your boy Anthony with AJ Audio and Production coming back at you with another installment for 30 Days to a Better Mix. Now, today's going to be a really quick episode, but I promise you I got a game changer for you. What we're going to do today is what I like to call non-destructive mixing. Let's get into it. All right, everybody, let's check it out. So this is definitely going to be a game changer for you. I promise. If you're not already doing this, you're definitely going to want to start immediately. So we already know what non-destructive editing is. That's basically if I take this track right here and I delete that center section, I can always come over here and pull the rest of the track back out. So the track never leaves. It's always over here. No matter what I do to the tracks over here, I can delete them, whatnot, and I can always come back in, drag those tracks back into the edit window. That's non-destructive editing. But what is non-destructive mixing? I can't remember who taught me this, but I'm so glad that I learned it. So what's happened to me is, say I recorded a song here and I give it a rough mix, and then 2 weeks later the artist comes back and says, okay, I'm ready to fully mix the song. Well, then if I come back in the song, start editing from the template of the rough mix of what I have here, and then save it and send it to the artist, what happens if the artist comes back and says, hey, I like what you did with the kick drum on the first mix. Can we go back to that? Well, no, because now it's 2 weeks later and I've already changed all the settings from what I had on my first mix. So I no longer have that. So now you spend the next 2 or 3 hours trying to get your updated mix to sound close to your previous mix. And I know I'm not the only one that's gone through this before. Here's how you fix that. As soon as you get into your session, every time you open it and you get ready to start making some changes or edits, you want to go up to File and you want to Save As. Now this can be done in any DAW. It doesn't matter what you're working in. It can be done, whether it's Logic Pro, Fruity Loops, whatever, Reason, it doesn't matter. So when I go to Save As, you'll see I already have a YouTube session file right here. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make a new folder. I'm going to name that folder Mixes. And inside of that folder, now I changed the title to that to YouTube 08 underscore, what's today, the 19th underscore 20. Today's the 19th, right? Nope, I'm off. Today's the 20th. So 2020, there we go. So I save it as YouTube 08 2020. And that tells me the name of the project and what date this is that I'm editing this project. So I can save that. And now you'll see the name at the top of my project changes, right? So then I can make all the edits I want to make. Let me just, for the heck of it, just throw some plugins out here that have nothing to do with these tracks. I'm just throwing plugins on these tracks, right? And then I'm going to save that. So now, say I mix this track, send it over to the artist, and they say, oh, what is this? The kick out, the snare top, and the snare bottom. I don't like the processing that you did on that. Can you get it back to the old one? So now I can always go back up here to the top, click on File, go to Open Recent, and then there's my previous session right there, YouTube. And I can load that session right back up and pick up editing where it was before. And what you'll find is for those sessions where you're working on them, for a week, 2 weeks, you got 4 or 5 different mix sessions open on them. This is going to save your life, because I promise you there will be times where you take your session and listen to it in the car, and it's sounding great in the car. The bottom end is great, it's rich, sounds awesome. And then you go back and listen to your updated mix 2 days later, and it's sounding thin. It's not sounding as full as the previous session. And you may want to be able to import those settings in. And that's as simple in Pro Tools. I can go into Import, go to Session Data, YouTube, and I can go to YouTube on that day. And then boom, there's my original session. and I can select whatever tracks and import them over here into my current session. That's how you do that. That's non-destructive mixing. That way, no changes that you make are permanent, and you can always go back to a previous day of your mix. All right, so I definitely hope that helps somebody out, help you guys out in your mixing, because I know that I'm not the only one that's been in that situation where I've been mixing a song and saying, dang, I wish I had this plugin on there that I had, or the settings from this plugin that I had 2 weeks ago. Or even with some artists, I'll have their projects and it'll be 3 months later and they're ready to start the actual mixing on that project. Well, once I start mixing 3 months from now, I'm doing multiple sessions of mix sessions. And if I mess something up, or I delete something off, or forget something, or, just whatever I'm doing in the updated session doesn't sound like that original demo session, and the artist isn't happy with it, it's good to always be able to go back, pull those presets, pull those settings, pull those plugins into your updated session, even after you've made changes. So keep that practice, make that something that you do on every session, and I promise you it's going to change the game on how you mix. All right. Well, I think that about does it for today. Thank you guys again for continuing to support the channel. Make sure you click that subscribe button, leave a comment, click the notification bell icon so that you can be notified whenever I upload new content on this channel. And thanks again. Peace.